Good evening, Twitch. How you doing? It's Sunday night, and we're back with another episode of the Backlog, playing some Hand of Fate 2. And man, oh man, we killed the wrong person. We killed the Emperor, but apparently he was not the usurper, which makes things very awkward for me, because the sorceress told us a lie. Why did she tell us the sorceress, the usurper, was the Emperor? I don't know why, but apparently he wasn't. He was definitely responsible for letting the kingdom, the Empire, actually go into such a state of decay where the corrupted roam the lands and the outlaw of magic, all these other terrible things, but not the target we were after for. That though, we jump on in. Let's start playing some Hand of Fate 2. I'm definitely surprised how long this game actually is. So this game actually is a very long game to go through. This is not just something you can beat in a simple afternoon. And at the very least, I'll be able to actually enjoy hearing the game this time. At least I hope so. I assume we don't have any sort of audio interference, and I get that audio bug all over again. It was very weird doing the stream, not hearing a darn thing. But
so your story winds to a close. The serpent meets his own tail, and we will soon come face to face with the usurper. Are you prepared? It almost matters not now.
Thank you very much, MechaGM, for the auto host. Really appreciate it. Looks like you always have people who are sitting back and watching your channel, which is very nice, actually. I wonder if you have vodcasts. I wonder if people would actually like vodcasts. But we now have to face Judgement. Let's see what we actually have to do here. We have 1, 2, and then I think we have 3 more challenges left, so we might finish on Tuesday. We might, assuming this one goes fine. Judgement. That's I remember that card. That card was the Fallen Hero graphic. Back in Hand of Fate 1. Flee to the outer regions of the Empire and find the one who waits. Imperial Pursuit. The Empire has released the garrison. They will advance between encounters and after combat. Wanted. The price on your head will spur the most common foe to claim it. All basic enemies are brimstone. Oof. I don't know exactly what they mean by brimstone. Like, that was definitely one thing in this game that wasn't fully explained. Vast Empire. Your journey across the Empire will be long. Prepare for combat against corrupted Empire, thieves, northerners, and undead. And I guess we'll have every single companion with us. You know what? To speed things up a little bit, why don't we... Oop, that's the wrong thing. Let's have them fill it. Let's take a quick gander here. And see what they actually throw in here with us. I really don't want to deal with the burning building right now. Wow, it gave us no... didn't give us a single one of, I wonder what Hired Hand does. Let's put that in. Let's take out the Blessed Island here. Let's put in the Town of Corruption. Alright, let's put in the Town of Corruption, and we'll also get rid of Empire Contacts. Let's put in the Wishing Well. We'll put in those. I don't mind taking out Tarts, Pies, and Exotic Lies. Food is nice, but it'd be very nice to actually have something else here. We'll put in, you know, our 3 St. Tella's Day. I know which 3 we actually should put in. Only food for that, which is surprising. Governed Handler, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. So I'll put in that, the Shrine. That's our 3 platinum cards for encounters. Surprised, actually. I'm looking at this. We don't have a lot of our unusual suspects, which is actually very concerning. I'll take out Wetlands.
You do like that one, don't you?
I do like that card here. I'll take out Fallen Treasure. Probably facing a lot of combat, but I'm assuming the combat won't actually give us anything. So I'm gonna try Fate's Dealings again. I want to see just how low of a timer they'll actually give us. Galleys, Toshers, Cunning Man. Well, I want to definitely throw in some new cards. The Wretched. Do we have enough food cards? Carriage. I don't like... I like Carriage, but at the same time I don't like it, just because I honestly expect more from it as a card. In by Sea. That's actually a very solid card. Let's see, what else could we actually get? Yeah, actually a lot of our normal cards are just taken out completely. I'm honestly expecting just like curses now as our standard, but you know what? Let's... Where's the Boar one? That one actually had... The Boar one actually was a pretty decent one. Let's take out Trading House. Put in the Fabled Beast. And roll over with that. We'll make things nice and easy. I wonder how much actual fame we'll need. See how much actual... Let's see what items they actually give us as well. I'm curious about this. Gambler's Hood, the Knight's Helm, the Arcane Edge, the Imperial Armor, Torch Blade, Dark Groove Ring, that actually would probably be useful this time around. Berserker's Creed, no, let's get rid of that. I pretty much should actually pick a weapon I'm actually okay with the most. That's actually probably what I should do, what actually would probably be best. Let's actually do that. Let's get rid of... Can't believe we get 22. That's kind of disgusting. I'll get Archer's Bane. We'll add the Brilliant Blade, since that was our new item here. Get rid of Billy Clubs. I'm gonna probably stick to two-handers and the one-handed weapons. The daggers are good, but I'm not too big of a fan of them. Let's see what else gives a lot of defense. Just damage defense. Actually would be a pretty good one here. So let's get 2 shields. Arcane Edge is a pretty solid one. There's platinum items though. I should probably actually think about that. I want to see what other rings I can add here because there are a lot of rings missing. Spike Bone Guard, just get rid of curses. Just trying to make sure I don't get cursed. No, we already added a new platinum helm. Oh, let's actually add, we can add the King's Crown. Death's Charm's very nice. Gambler's Jewel, Gertrude's Companion's also very nice. Let's get rid of Thief's Folly. Let's add the Ring Concentration. So we have 2 swords. We have 3 swords. Gambler's Hood. Why not? We'll leave that in. We have a couple of helmets, armor, Spike Bone Guard, Imperial Armor. What other armors do we have? We only have 2 pieces of armor? And the Armor of Gluttony, they always throw that in. Are there any better armors? Dead King Scales. That's actually... Alright, that's a one-handed Imperial Armor. Gives 20 health while you have a one-handed weapon equipped. Where are the helmets? I could have sworn there was like a helmet that gave you health if you had a one-handed equipped. Maybe it's the Imperial Soldier. No, that's not it. Oh, I guess it didn't. Alright, well, and let's go with this. This should be pretty good. And for supplies, what did they give me here? Fate's Path. I'm not really worried about Fate's Path. Soul Gem. You know what, we'll leave that in. Buckler. Let's add the Fine Sword instead. And leather armor. You know what, let's just go full. Let's see. Yeah. Do I need the armor? Yeah, you know what, we'll leave the armor. Alright, let's rock and roll.
A final step, and with it judgment. We must face the consequences of the things we have done if we are to ever find our worth.
Well.
And so you come closer with every moment to the beginning of our story.
Warning bells ring out across the city. That was too easy, Estrella says as you and your companions scramble down the spiraling staircase to the palace armory. Did nobody else hear the disembodied voice? Far from being unsettled, Ariadne looks excited. The caravan, Malaclip shouts to you all. We must get to the caravan, I know where it is. The Marigold Fields, beyond the swamps and mountains, on the outskirts of the Empire. I gain 15 fame. They will come for us, Kolbjorn mumbles. We are at its heart, and we have killed the Emperor. You burst through the armory doors. The walls are laden with an array of equipment collected by the Empire across the century. Ariadne tosses you some gear. The dealer equips you with an equipment card of each available type. View your equipment in the inventory. No artifact equipment found in the deck. Oh. Oh, well, we can find out what the... Oh, what's this say? After the first roll of Dice Gambit, optionally reroll all 2s and 5s. At the start of each map, optionally bet 5 gold that you will end the level on full life. Winning draws a gold gain card. Interesting. What's this? Oops, that's not what I want to do. What does the soul gem? Can be used to revive a companion. Interesting. Okay. And... Brilliant Blade. Perform a strike that causes stun in an area beyond the attack. Reduces chance to hit to charge by +1 6 minutes. Deals 105% damage to brimstone enemies. Interesting. Okay. That will have to do, Estrella says. There is no time to lose if we are to reach this caravan. Our first obstacle is to get out of the Imperial City, and fast. Escape the Empire and flee the city. Hard choices to face on the road ahead, Kolbjorn says solemnly, staring out of the small armory window. We may not all survive what has started. We knew the risks, Estrella replies. I, for one, stand by my choice. Ensure all companions escape alive. If we're to escape the city, we're going to have to rough the borough, the city's rotten backstreets, and we best split up. He turns to you. Who would you have by your side? Oof. The soldier. I'll take her. Estrella joins you. Very well, Estrella says. We should meet at nightfall. We can regroup and coordinate from here. Companions can be swapped at camp. In your escape. Now remember, Estrella calls back to the others, we escaped through the city's gates on the other side of the city. We'll need to find a way past the wall of the inner district. Estrella raises her eyebrow to Ariadne. And the Empire patrols, they outnumber us greatly. We cannot hope to defeat them. Avoid them at all costs. I'm trying to figure out where we have to go here. Hey, how's it going, History Master? What game is this? This is Hand of Fate 2, the sequel to Hand of Fate 1, where it is basically a dungeon crawler. However, every single encounter is determined by cards, either set up by the challenge of the dealer, or you, the player. So it's kind of partially a build-your-own dungeon. That is what this game is, and it's a very interesting game.
You cannot seem to restrain yourself from playing the hero.
And it also has Twitch integration, which you can also hurt or help me as well. And if I decide to delegate any sort of decisions as well, they can also make decisions to influence the choice. That's one of the major differences from Hand of Fate 1 to Hand of Fate 2 is they made Twitch integration into it, which is kind of nice, honestly. It can be very interesting to see how people decide to vote. A peasant approaches you and says, "Great warrior, our village has become a regular target for the northern raiders. They've set up camp near our village. There's no need to kill them all. If you incite enough fear, they will leave us alone. We have little to offer, but I'm sure we can find something to give you for your troubles." You sneak up to the raiders' camp and launch an attack. So this is pretty much near the end of the game. This isn't the final stage or anything like that. It's one of the final challenges, but it's not the last one. But this is very much at the climax. No, thankfully they're not Twitch raiders. They're just normal raiders.
Protecting the people is what I do.
So, what you're seeing here is the combat here. We'll probably be seeing a lot of it, just simply because it is It is part of the core of the game here. Anytime you have a physical encounter with any of these cards, you'll be doing combat. The combat is based off the Arkham City style combat, so if you've ever played an Arkham game, you kind of know how the combat works. You can block, you can attack, and in this case, we just need to survive. Tell the peasants the cowardly northern raiders will not bother them any longer. This is also very much a heavily narrative.
Show your worth
game.
through action.
Yes, we will equip that weapon. The village offers you a small boon for ridding them of 3 raiders. You gain 2 fame. So, a lot of our armor and such is actually determined, like, usually you gain them through encounters and such. And in this one, like, you're only able to have one. No, actually, you could switch weapons.
Dwarves have never been purged by the Empire in the same way as other races. Frankly, they're too boring.
So this is actually one of the new cards here that I've gotten recently. I just never used, but I'm including it in. Your wanderings lead you to a dwarf weighed down in bags, sacks, and other knickknacks. "Let's trade," he suggests. "I'm sure we could find a mutually beneficial agreement." "Do you have anything for trade?" Yes, I do. What I can trade... I have a lot of items here I can actually just give him. So I can actually give him... Which armor do I have? I can actually trade away... Let's trade away the leather armor, something solid. He takes your item and carefully inspects it. This one costs more than 10 gold back home. Let's see what I have to match it. So what you just saw there is actually one of the... what you're seeing here right now is one of the card gambits. This was the mainstay of Hand of Fate 1, where you could actually... with Switch integration, you can actually influence the vote and decide... you know, not decide directly, but you can urge on what I should pick. Like, if you think I should pick this card or that card, your vote actually, will influence it, or at least I let it influence it. Like, I could decide it myself here, for example. And apparently, we also got a huge success. Alright, you drive a hard bargain, but I'll trade you my item for some gold. Let us be done with the matter while we still have the shirt upon my back. The dealer draws an equipment card with 5 more gold than the one you traded away. And we got the extinguisher.
Tool, but simple magic.
And we got 30 gold. Goodbye, the dwarf mutters, frowning at his new treasure as he turns to leave. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to the campfire. You find your companions huddled together down a back alley as they planned. Empire patrols are searching for us. There's no point attempting to fight them all. We must focus on getting out of the city. Actually going to buy some food here, because we're going to need it. So a lot of our resources is going to be determined by, you know, what we could find, what we can buy. So food, gold, and the new resource in this, which is fame. So the armor we can actually buy from our campfire is the... Oh, it's Geralt the Goblin. So... like we're gonna have to go through the city streets either way. Let's take a little bit of a longer route.
If wishes were truly granted, we would not be here, you and I.
You find an ornate wishing well in the center of town. Shiny coins gleam below the center of the water. A sign nearby warns, "Be careful what you wish for." So I can always actually, like I said, so if I press X here, I can actually set up encounter voting, and people in chat could do #1 or 2 or 3 or 4 for the card Gambit, just as we saw earlier, and basically influence the vote. And if no one votes, I could always just simply make the decision myself. Like I said, I think if anything, it definitely was aimed more at bigger streamers. You know, like most Twitch integration, you need a very active and a decent-sized viewership, because the smaller it is, the more individual votes. You know, individual votes have a much heavier weight into it. So if anything, we're just going to throw some coins down the well, and you know what? Let's just throw all 20.
The pendulum swings like a scythe, bearing hope or failure.
So what you're actually seeing is that the wishing well there, that was the precision challenge. That's one of the new gambits that actually was thrown into this, added into this game. Acquire 50 gold on a single map to gain 40 max life, then discard this card. Interesting. So here we have the Distressed Damsel. What we gotta do is actually the Dice Gambit, which is a very simple roll.
Back to the bones. I hope you have learned to be their master.
So you just use your move stick to actually move them, and then press A to throw them. Kind of like you're actually throwing dice. So we're going to re-roll this one here, and hope we actually get a big number.
Well done. You continue to impress.
There we go. So a lot of the time what you want to do, you want to build your deck that'll help you, you know, survive, make sure you have enough resources, and gain more from the challenge. A wounded peasant runs stumbling down the street, chased down by a horde of corrupted. He falls at your feet and begins to twitch. The blood from his wounds boils and blackens. So I can actually simply decide here what happens. I can fight the corrupted, or I can attempt to escape. If anything, I'll probably fight him. Just so we can actually do... I want to see something. It's usually very dangerous to do a lot of fights, because if you slip up, you'll suffer more. Take a look at our new weapon. Brilliant Blade. Great Rolla stood at the gates of damnation itself, his blade swinging and flowing from strike to strike. Rolla fell, but the gates were closed.
Hold them off! To arms!
And what you just saw there, you can actually execute your targets. So every time you see red over their head, that will mean that you'll need to dodge. Green is... you can actually parry them. And these guys are special because they have armor, and you have to actually bash the armor off before you can actually do any actual damage to them. And if they hit you, well, they will do a lot. I would recommend, though, that you do get used to the combat to a point, because if you don't, you're gonna find yourself hurting for a bit. If there is a huge difference between the design of the first one and the second one, it's the challenges themselves. So I actually keep all my companions alive. In this challenge, they get the sun and gold the sun token and the moon token. In the first one, it was just basically get to the end of the dungeon and beat the big bad boss. With the horde defeated, the townsfolk rushed to tend to the peasants. They are grateful for your protection.
I'm not a vain man. You must appreciate that this game, has been my focus for more years than I can count. I have a certain pride regarding its twists and turns.
And that there you saw is the wheel gambit. That's the other one. So those are the 4 gambits. You have the card gambit, you have the precision gambit, you have the dice gambit, and you have the wheel gambit. So, and I guess
Every step before you is filled with enemies. If you are to reach me, you must shake them all free.
you find your companions taking cover in an alley across from the gate to the outer district. It's the infected, Estrella explains. The commotion of the guards has incited them. They've gathered here, blocking the gateway to the outer district. It is the only way out of the city. Peek around the corner. This doesn't look good, Malaclips says. We'll stir up the hornet's nest if we try to get past them. I say we run like cowards. We should head forward, Estrella replies. It's only a matter of time before we're found by the Empire, and this is the only way beyond the wall. You feel a gentle tug on the corner of your sleeve. You turn to face a small, wizened goblin, a pronounced frown wrinkling his face. Geralt knows the way, he mutters. Catacombs. Below the city, there's a path, home to a king from an age past. The Empire has forgotten. Meet Geralt there. And with that, he turns and disappears down an alleyway, looking back sullenly at you. What a crotchety little thing, Ariadne chuckles. I don't trust it. We should fight and make a break for the city gates. I'd trust a goblin over a horde of infected, Malaclips notes trained to you. I thought he seemed nice and incredibly trustworthy. And we can make the decision, and you guys can make the decision. We can either retreat back into the burrows, or we can fight the guards. And all these guards, I bet we would have to actually fight. Basically, but our main goal is fleeing the city, but to actually get the best objective, we have to actually keep everyone alive. I'm gonna take the chance. Personally, I would take the chance and retreat back into the burrows. And considering it looks like right now, people are being more passive. You split up once again and fall back to the burrows. So, what we actually can do, we can actually head on over to the catacombs now. And basically just make our way through. So, and those tokens you see here. And that card there was the results of someone voting with the Twitch integration. And the results, the gifts and stuff will change every 8 steps.
This is a place of death. You should be comfortable here.
You meet with the bad-tempered goblin. It glances furtively around. They are looking for you. If you don't want to die, you should hurry. Ask for more information. Catacomb exit. The catacombs lead under the wall of the inner bailey. Gerald shows you for a price. He eyes your equipment. Asks to be shown the catacombs. Gerald was sent to help you, the goblin mutters irritably. Gerald did not agree to do it for free. In a flash, the ancient goblin snatches at your belongings. He gathers the Imperial armor. Alright, he takes the armor. And he takes the goblin's hood. He looks over his stubby little hands. It will do. Ask why is he helping? Gerald was ordered to. The goblin looks positively sulky about it. You know what? I'm okay with losing those. You follow Gerald to an open sewer grate by an abandoned hospice. Then, quite out of nowhere, he presses a flaming torch into your hands before pointing into the darkness. The torch flickers on the wet stone as you crouch and crawl through the tunnel. Then, quite out of nowhere, the tunnel opens up and you can breathe again. Light filters in weakly from cracks in the ceiling to reveal a cavern with the smell of old death, the catacombs. Suddenly there is a rattle and the sound of metal in the darkness coming towards you. I've been ambushed. And I don't have a weapon. Alrighty. What the? Alright, fine. The game does not want me to. One issue I do have is the game. That was one weird moment where I was pushing forward towards the food, but it wouldn't let me move forward. And I think that had to do something with throwing an encounter along with the actual combat system. That's the first time that's actually ever happened. At long last, you emerge out of the catacombs, much the worse for the wear. You take a moment to breathe the fresh air. What's done is done. You escape. You continue your escape from the city. All right. Well, we overall made it through. City streets. We need to make down to the very bottom there. Your path through the city is blocked by a horde of infected. They mill unaware to your presence. The garrison's bells continue to troll in the streets below. I'm gonna keep throwing these up here just to see if anyone actually would want to participate. Unless Twitch's system is actually not telling me the truth here. I could just be alone. For now, though, ambush the corrupted, then. This is our chance, Estrella says. Together you draw your weapons. Oh my god. No, we would not want to retry the pendulum.
Nicely timed.
I've never seen the pendulum swing that fast in my life. The rain of blows fell the group of infected before they can respond. The dealer removes one monster card. The remaining infected stand idly, twitching and picking at their wounds. Together, you and Estrella rush the remaining enemies. Oh my god. No, I will take what I can get. That's... With a flurry of strikes, you fell the infected before they can retaliate. Despite your best efforts, the remaining infected close in. Well, that's actually an easy one. So what I did learn from last stream from someone who does play this...
Whatever you're planning, now is a good time to
the challenges or the gambits that you have for the late for the game will be determined by who your companion is. And each of the companions also have their own storyline as well. You collect yourself and continue your escape through the burrow. So, I'm gonna move up. And go this way. Okay. I just need to find a way to make sure I can actually go. Damn it!
Did you not consider that the Empire would stop at nothing to ensure you are found?
Imperial soldiers surround you. Traitors of the Empire, the leader yells as they rush their attack. I guess if anything, Brimstone cards are just, in general, deadlier. So they do more damage, they're... you know, and that's pretty much it, actually. They just do more damage. And what you saw there is the weapon arts. So one thing they did change about this is, with the game, you can actually now, after every so many swings, you can actually use right trigger and actually do some use your weapon's special ability. And if you get hit, the counter will reset back to 0. Thankfully, weapon arts also make you invulnerable. And if a companion gets knocked down, you can just go up to him, press L1, and they'll be revived. Something tells me, though, this is going to be a very long challenge, even after we escape the city walls. With moments we could actually lose a, companion. And we got a blessing. In combat, boost life to 75 when life drops below 25. Then discard this card. Oh, I didn't realize that would actually give us something. And a plague. Let's fight the corrupted. I'm very much used to the combat in this game. I don't know. I gotta figure out what's wrong with my connection to Twitch. This is the third night in a row that this actually happened.
Hold them off. 2 arms.
Come on. I will say, though, this game, the one thing that is kind of sluggish, it's the, the executes are sluggish, so it's not, like, that one part is just not responsive. Executes are very useful. And if the enemy's stunned, you'll actually do more damage as well. So it's very nice. Like, I like the combat system, but if you're not a fan of the Arkham combats, then this is not going to be something for you, because there is a good amount of fighting you will have to do. But overall, I do enjoy this game. There is definitely a lot to this game. There's 22 challenges. The first ones you could probably do, for like first half, you could probably get, maybe like actually more like the first 8. You could knock them out in about 4 hours, but then the rest, though, will take like an hour and a half to 2 hours each. With a horde defeated, they are good for your protection. They can give me stuff. What do I want them to give me? Oh, they don't give me anything.
Perhaps you should have taken your time.
St. Tala's Day. On this day of penance and charity, you hear that a priestess will be blessing one and all for no cost at the Church of Fires. You find the flustered priestess at the church, dealing with a huge crowd of peasants and nobles alike. You join the line. Elbows are thrown and harsh words are exchanged, but you finally make it to the front. And for something like this, you can actually throw out a vote and ask, like, for good health, good wealth, good harvest, be blessed for glory, be blessed for luck. I'm gonna try for luck. Long shot. And I'll just request any blessing. Gain 20 fame until you lose any gambit. And then discard this card. There you go. And that is one of the platinum cards. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to use my campfire. I'm actually going to do trade. We're going to buy that one. Actually, let's buy the armor. You know what? For now, what do we have as our inventory? We just have the adventurer's garb. You know what? We'll buy the armor. The armor is actually worth it more. Because if we get cursed, that armor will actually prevent us from getting cursed. And that'll be much more valuable than anything else.
What sets things in motion? Who and when? Do you know? All will be clear in time.
Bells continue to toll as a crowd of paupers and townsfolk fill the square leading out of the capital city, Imperial City. Guards block the way, checking all wagons and persons trying to enter and leave. The people cry out in protest. Let us through! Let us through! But they are only met with a wall of shields blocking the gates. Ariadne beckons to you and Estrella from the alley across the street. You press through the crowd, avoiding the guards, and you join your companions. There are more soldiers here than we can ever hope to defeat, Estrella whispers. And they only gain in numbers the longer we linger. Somebody must be sacrificed, Kolbjorn mumbles. Malaclips laughs, his colorful hat bells jangling. Don't have to be so cheery about it. I vote we don't send me because I won't be enough of a distraction. Ariadne's blue eyes looks worriedly between the two. Surely there's another way we can all escape. No, Kolbjorn is right. It is the only way, Estrella says, turning to the group. Someone will have to draw the guards' attention for the others to escape. There's precious little time. Who will it be? Okay. This is interesting. I am confused here. You know what? I'm gonna bet on the soldier. As I've never done this challenge. Like I said, this is beat the backlog, so we're basically kind of going through a lot of these games blind. So let's go with the soldier. Estrella waits for you all to get to the front of the crowd near the gate. Then, like a martyr to the gallows, she steps onto the merchant's carts. Soldiers of the Empire, her voice rings clear and commanding. The square falls silent, save for the ringing of the bells in the distance. I am Estrella Fiore, former captain of the Empire and the Emperor's assassin. Get her, the guards shout. With the guards distracted, your party sneaks through the gate and out of the city. You pause for a moment looking back, but Malaclips grabs your arm. We must keep moving. Estrella failed to escape. You require Estrella... Okay. So... what that actually requires... So what this challenge actually requires... I already know it. Is every single companion in this game has a backstory that you actually have to unlock as you play through it. So, and this is why this game has so much replay value. So, to actually get the Sun token for this challenge, you need to make all of your characters platinum cards. So I make the right decision, but I didn't have her at the platinum. I didn't make her a platinum card because I didn't go through her quest line. Because, I'll be honest, I think...
Was I too bold? Too egotistic? Certainly.
You know, what I think, honestly...
Yet I would never have wrestled the secrets of the elements from the Lords of Beyond, were I not.
You know, one of my, like I said, one of my kind of criticisms of this game is that...
Do you even know what success requires here?
You know, one of my criticisms is basically... I know a lot of people like to go through their games kind of like one and done. This game doesn't do that. The game's challenges are way too difficult to even allow enough experimentation to try and actually make each character, you know, a hero. Like, it would require a lot of replay. Like, you have to replay this game a lot to be able to unlock everything. You only give Estrella moments more thought before being rushed out of the city with a sea of peasants. And with that, you can continue with the path with one less companion. The mood is somber as you set up camp at the edge of the marshes. Do you think there's any chance? Ariadne asks with tears in her eyes. No one replies. Leave the marshland. Oh, basically, we're going to be losing everyone. The raging river, the bridge there, out of the mud. And the guards. Oh. Can I change my companion? I cannot change my companion. I should have changed my companion first. So... okay, let's fight the thieves. So basically, we're going to lose each of our companions, with maybe the exception of Ariadne. She was the only one I actually made into a platinum card. And even then, I have to actually guess correctly.
You should run while you have the chance.
And that's only if I actually get it right. Ah. So what Malaclips here gives us is a invulnerability shield, which is actually very nice. Thankfully, you can revive your ally, your companion, an unlimited amount of times. I'm surprised that actually, that actually makes it very interesting. To even get the sun token here, you have to go through each character's questline, which kind of makes sense. With the thieves subdued, you notice their stash of treasures. A lot of these cards we basically have gone through already. And with that, we got the Tiger's Eye. And the Armor of Gluttony. Let's put that on for a second. So that was the blessing. We actually got a gain card, and we also got the ring of concentration. Okay. We didn't gain anything. We didn't gain anything. We don't have any additional money, so I'm gonna put on this spiked guard again. Let's keep going. The Empire is offering a pretty price for your head, adventurer, one of the men remarks while casually inspecting his blade. Nothing personal. The others advance towards you. Well, this is why we're running. Oh, that shield didn't last long. Oh, come on, I was rolling. Nope. They are not making this easy right now. I'm surprised that actually counted. And done. Damn thieves. You can't avoid your fate forever. There we are. Undead. Undead healing. I'll put on the Chef's Charm. Chef's Charm is actually really nice, because we can outright abuse it right now. And also the Brigand Shield. I can actually just use that, because Chef's Ring gives us 10 health instead of 5 for every food we cook, so we can actually heal up to full. There we go. Speaking of which, is that still there? The Ring of Food is now the item, since we now have the spiked bone guard.
The enemies you have made are endless, and each would stop you from fleeing your crime.
You find your companions taking cover a short way from the bridge across the raging river. As you approach, Kolbjorn emerges from the undergrowth. There are many armed men up ahead. They bear not to the banners of the Empire. Bounty hunters, Ariadne mutters. I'm sure the Empire has put a handsome price on our heads. The guild could not resist such a reward. You look up ahead. Well, Malakip shrugs. I guess we're doomed. From out of nowhere, a familiar cantankerous goblin appears, frowning at all of you. Gerald has been sent to help. There is a boat upstream. That you can take across the river, but you have to battle the current, or you could find yourself back here with these thugs. Gerald looks delighted at the prospect. He turns and disappears into the back into the rushes. You'll probably want something for his trouble, Malaclip says. Goblins always do, but a boat sounds much more to my taste than dealing with these bounty hunters. What do you say? I actually like this. I actually like this for a couple of reasons. This actually, you know, makes it a lot more dynamic. That's a lot of failure.
Let's see what you do with that, given your position.
So we gained our food back, but we're gonna give the child some food. And we're gonna get a blessing from that. Defeated 25 max life while no platinum cards are equipped. Exploding doodads. You chance upon Oswin's goblin uncle, offering his trinkets to passerbyers. He shows no sign of recognizing you. Can I interest you in an exploding doodad? My prices are tough but fair. I'll ask for one. The goblin considers his heaping pile of bombs and looks at you. No, there are no focus artifacts in your deck. Have this instead. And he gives me food. Goodbye, dear one. Oswin's goblin uncle bows deeply. He seats himself on the nearest tree stump and proceeds pointedly to ignore you. But hey, that gave us some health. What do we need to do? Looks like marshland. Interesting. Gonna go forward. Nope, we ran into the Empire. This definitely is going to be a test of metal. I wonder how many maps we have to actually go through.
I heard this works.
Nope. No, I want to execute you first. Surprised that actually didn't get anyone. And there goes my shield. Finish you off. Ooh. Ah, darn it. Something for that shield to come a lot sooner. I just realized I don't think I have a helmet on right now. Did I need to equip that helmet? Gang of thieves. Another ambush. This is definitely testing your mettle when it comes to fighting.
If I see it, I should thank
Ah, darn it. I wasn't paying attention. I'm really not paying attention here. care of a lot of you. Execute the assassin because he was a boss. He was a boss, and now he's a common enemy I must know how to fight. Armory gain equipment. And get the ring of food. And 20 gold. We are going to take the 20 gold. So the ring of food actually allows us to turn game cards into food, which is actually very nice.
We have rivers that run through us, that divide us into heart and head, body and soul.
Sure enough, you find the goblin by the side of the river. He points to a small wooden raft moored by the bank. Here. As for more information, the goblin gives an evil smile. The current is strong. You may sink. Malclips makes a strangled croak. That thing's merely a raft. How can we hope to make it to the other side? You have no choice. The goblin stops as you approach the raft. You will soon have few cards to play, he grumbles. Geralt must get something shiny while he still can. In a flash, the goblin snatches your belongings. It's a spiked bone guard. Okay. And the ring of food. Okay, we'll take them. You push off, and the water begins to move you downstream. The current is strong, Malclips calls over the roar of the river. Get to the far bank before we wash up at the bridge downriver. Together, you and your companions attempt to steer the raft to the other side. Oh. The current is strong, but you row hard. The dealer moves you 1 spaces downstream. The current proves no match for your efforts. Before you know it, you're on the far bank, ready to continue your escape. The unimpressed farmer. You see an adventurer leaving a farm with a large basket of fresh vegetables and sweet pies. He grins at you as he passes, looking terribly pleased with himself. An elderly farmer flaps his hands as you continue near the farm. "Ho, adventurer," he shouts. "Be you a small potato or an acclaimed hero? Come closer so my eyes can see you." This is just a feint check, so it's actually a positive if we just go up to him. He squints at you, cries out, clapping his leathery hands in joy. "Why, it's you! I'm honored, adventurer, simply honored." He insists on gifting you a basket overflowing with freshly baked breads and fruits. Certainly want for naught when it comes to food. Another stirring in the mire. So we can fight the Knight of Steel and Phalanx of Steel, or we can fight the Six of Frost and the Frost Trapper. Between the two, the Raiders are legendary. Seems like nobody's really as pretty much just want to watch, so I'm gonna take more control of things instead of delegating things out to vote. I'm surprised because Sunday is usually very an active day.
How did you not get the message? We're not to be messed with.
Good old Northerners. Not that difficult to beat, thankfully. think the only thing left are the trappers now. I'm not a huge fan of fighting the Phalanx of Steel. The Knight I'm not so worried about. He's not easy, but at the same time it's doable. With the raiders defeated, you notice some equipment hidden off the path of the mire. And let's roll. Let's re-roll just this one. 14, 16. Got the Bastion of Purification. We'll keep that right now. Now, we move forward.
Make your choices carefully. Your friends have served you well, but they must serve you a final time.
You find your companions huddled around a small fire at the beginning of the foothills at the edge of the marshlands. Without a word, Ariadne throws a pot of water on the fire with a hiss. Then, with a tired nod, you all begin your climb. Together you scramble up the slippery banks to the drier lands of the foothills. As dusk falls, you look back over the marshlands. You see the torchlights of the Empire's search parties hard on your trail. Suddenly, Malclip stops. He's put his arms out in front of you, blocking your way. You look up at the path ahead. Bounty hunters. Sure enough, up ahead in the shadows of the rocky outcrops, you see them. A gang of countless thieves waiting to claim you all as their bounty. One hooded figure steps forward. Well, if all our paydays haven't come at once, he chuckles. There's a pretty price on your heads, and we intend to claim it. Ariadne brandishes her hammer excitedly. Send me out some there easy fodder for my hammer. Basis, who do we send now? The thieves were basically him, was the trickster. I'm gonna send Malclips. This feels like revenge, Malclips notes wryly as he draws his spellbook and heads towards a small army of thieves. Now go! The bard unleashes a powerful projectile that blasts the thieves into the air, but like locusts. More take their place. He is outnumbered. Before you even think to do anything for Malclips, Kolbjorn grabs you by the arm, and together you make break through the craggy rocks away from the bounty hunters. Malclips failed to escape. I guess I did have to send Ariadne for that one. The mood is somber as you make your way down the far side of the range into the snowy hinterlands of the Empire. This land was once the dominion of my kin. Many still hide in these hills, Kolbjorn says as he breathes in the cool, crisp air. They will not hesitate to attack any passerby. We must make it to the mountain pass in the west. Flee the hinterlands. Interesting. And a raider ambush. I guess the extreme of this challenge is just combat. I hope you like fighting. I think I need to actually equip a helmet. Nope. Dick and move. I will say, I much prefer this challenge over any of the past ones currently given to me, despite how heart-wrenching this challenge actually is. I know my card gambits all too well now, apparently. That's a little disturbing, actually, to know that. Dark alleyways. So what I'm basically trying to do is make sure I get more equipment. Crypto's Companion. Companion is actually really good. I think they'll all go towards the chest. I guess with anticipation, everyone's getting ready for Cyber Monday. Everyone wants those sales. I don't blame them. Start the charge! One berserker down. How'd I miss the barbarian? Ah, it's too close. There we go. I guess that was a signal since... Man, that's actually really deep. You have to unlock everyone's story. 15 gold. 10. That was a terrible roll. That was a very bad roll. On the button. And we got the Ring of Defense. Very nice. So what I want to do... Okay, so apparently I do have the reinforced helm on. Wait. We have the Armor of Gluttony. Why don't I have that on? Another ambush. I'll probably leave ambushes alone from here on. Actually, no. I should check the equipment. I could buy equipment. What am I thinking? Oh, there we go. Okay, so now it's showing the graphic of me having the, So I want to kill the shaman first, because she's actually healing everyone. Damn it. Ooh, just barely. Stop pushing me away from Kolbjorn. go. It's a shame I can't convert food into gold in this game. What equipment I can actually buy here? I can buy the Arcane Edge. There's no way I'm gonna be able to acquire that compared to what I can trade away. All right. Looks like this is just a very straightforward one.
Tinged with flame, yet you must cross, or all is lost in vain.
Following the trail through the twisting canyon, you find a northerner encampment. There'll be more too further down, Kolbjorn says, laying low in the thicket of ferns. They'll attack on sight. Gerald, the surly goblin, appears behind you. Gerald can offer you another way. We gotta go back to the caverns. North is a cave, the goblin continues. The passage leads through the mountains and to the woodlands in the west. He then wanders down the gully and out of sight. Probably, yep, and right into the Empire's hands. Yeah, you have to really like the combat. Aw, damn it. Didn't know that was the general. You! How did that miss? He may be stunned, but dang, now that he can actually make sure he can hit his target. Now what? Oh, that's it.
You are cunning, and your allies many.
You find the grumpy goblin huddled beside a large rock, sheltered from the wind of the snow-capped mountain. Catacomb exit. The caverns beneath the mountain were once home to a great king. Geralt stands sulking at the cold. A labyrinth of tunnels lead beyond the canyon to the other side of the mountains. The way does not come free, he says. In a flash, the goblin snatches your belongings. Takes the armor of gluttony. Takes the reinforced helm. That's why he's helping. Geralt is ordered to. I wonder if I could trade something else. Traitors of the Empire are no place to negotiate. Geralt likes his choice just fine. The goblin glares at you. Alright, well, I guess we're losing our armor. Geralt leads you to a crack in the frozen mountainside. He then presses a flaming torch in your hand. It is dark in there. You will die if you cannot see. You head into the freezing darkness, looking back to see the old goblin silhouette watching you. The cramped tunnel leads on for what feels like an age. As you go, you begin to find old stone scones and worn markings on the wall. Then, with a cold gust of wind, you appear in a cavern. In a torch's weak light, you can make out stone balconies and stone parapets. Then you hear something. From the cold darkness, there comes the sound of a weapon unsheathing. Combining the labyrinth with combat. An interesting idea. Let's see if they change the map. They do not. Going to do, though. Wait. Now we're going to roll. This is Dark Souls. This is Dark Souls. But I don't... I'll be honest, I'm not too much of a fan with their decision, because what you saw me roll backwards every time was me just holding forward and pressing the dodge button. And I feel like it's something with the combat system that's interfering. At long last, you emerge from the cavern, all the worse for the wear. You take a moment to breathe the cool, crisp air. There we go. So... forward. I'll take a left. Another ambush. This is rough. I'm glad I did so much fighting throughout this campaign. Let's kill the trappers. Or not. I'm just getting sloppy. Thanks for being, Thank you for taking the hits, Bjorn. Really appreciate that. Darn it. Get out of here, you darn tyrant. I grew tired of you. Let's search for spoils. There's the gold. I was wondering if I can get the gold from that. But also, actually, camp here. Can I buy the item here? I can. I can buy the Arcane Edge. I'm gonna keep that because.
Weapon worth of a true magician.
Yeah, we can cook one food. And we'll break camp. Ah, the demon. Unfortunately, I don't have any curses. Thankfully, I don't have any curses.
This card is not lightly called Judgment. Here you must pay the price for your regicide, and also for your decisions.
You join your companions at the foot of the pass as planned. As you begin your ascent, northern warriors emerge from the craggy rocks and block your path. Clan Crowfoot, Kolbjorn growls. They who burned my village and my people to ash. Kolbjorn of Clan Eyebright, Rogueveer, the colossal leader, says from behind his armor of ice. What business do you have in these lands, coward? What business do you have leading the Empire here? There's only one way forward to the Marigold Fields and to the caravan, and other directions only spell death. You must send someone to parley with Clan Crowfoot. Oh, we're gonna send we're gonna send him. Kolbjorn approaches Rogueveer. In their discussion, you catch a mention of the Emperor's assassination. Finally, Rogueveer lets out a mighty laugh. You hope to find refuge here? Even with such a feat as killing the ruler of the Empire, the High Priest has exiled you. Your presence here is not welcome. Rogueveer thinks for a moment before smiling. Although, if you kneel before me, Kolbjorn of Clan Eyebright, then I will grant your party passage. Kolbjorn looks back at you, then to the north where the caravan awaits. He takes a knee. No sooner does Kolbjorn lower his head, Rogueveer drives his frozen blade through your companion's back. May you find honor in the great halls, Rogueveer mutters as Kolbjorn slumps to the ground, dead. Kolbjorn failed to escape, you require Kolbjorn the ally. It seems like some sort of ancient blood payment has been made. Clan Crowfoot allows the rest of you passage past. You can only arrange Kolbjorn as best you can. Already you hear the Empire soldiers approaching. Numb with cold and grief, you continue onward. You descend the mountain pass and enter a forest dotted with bloom of red flowers. In a clearing, sure enough, you spot a lone caravan. Reach the caravan. A mournful horn signals the Empire is closer than ever. You set off at a run. New beginning. That's the Toshers. Wow, I could just select anything. Alright, let's Spike Bone Guard. You plunge your hands in the river and rancid water to pull it out. 13. You fish out the trinket, doubtful it's worth such torment. Yes, we needed armor. Alright. Oh. Yep. You have no choice on this one. And the shrine right at the end, of course. I realized I should have re-rolled the 3s. I lost 20 fame because of the blessing. Not Benominous Rebel answers your plea. You leave the shrine in silence as it begins to rain. Alright, what happens here? I'm completely surrounded.
You have made bitter enemies, and the best of them will stop you now. One step closer, and you will reach my threshold.
The Imperial soldiers surround you as you approach the clearing with the caravan. A knight steps forward. Fools, he calls. No one can hope to escape the Empire's reach. You have survived this far not by luck or skill. You have survived because we let you. He chuckles. If the sacrifice of an emperor is what it takes to draw out the last of the mages, then it is a price that must be paid. The knight steps aside as the soldiers completely surround you. With the inevitability of the Empire closing in, you give the nod and your companions ready their weapons. Ariadne looks you in the eye. You know we're not going to get through unscathed, but I see no other way. Each available companion will attempt to remove a monster card. More soldiers rush to you. The dealer draws a life pain card for every monster card until 3 remain. Oof. At least I have the tiger's eye. The tiger's eye basically made me immune. So be it, the knight says, stepping forward. He lowers his helmet and drawing his weapons. He calls the last of his men. Charge! So that something tells me then, if you just charge through, you'll just take life pain cards for each of the barricades, instead of giving up equipment. Traitorous Knight. At the front lines of great upheaval, there were always men who flounder anywhere but in the midst of battle. Actually... that's a lot of soldiers! Oh, it's a 3. Oh, this is not good.
Back to the fray.
Oh my god, this is so busy. Ah, couldn't roll in time for that one. Oh, the knight has no armor. Oh, this is dangerous. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Okay. With that, judgment has been rendered.
Here we are, perched at the moment of revelation. One more must fall.
You stumble across a clearing, a caravan waiting ahead of you. 4 mages lay lifeless on the ground. Among them is a familiar gaunt figure of the hermit, relinquished of the fabric mountain that draped him in the winter forest. He lies in a simple pale robe, like a burial smock. More soldiers will soon be upon you. A familiar disembodied voice echoes in your head. You must draw them away before from the caravan before all is lost. Ariadne turns to you. There is no fear on Ariadne's face. I always knew I'd die a hero. Before you can protest with a roar, she rushes in the Empire's direction. Go on, get going. This is my destiny. Now go on to yours. You pause for a moment to remember your companions who so selfishly gave themselves to your mission. With a newfound resolve, you make the final dash for the caravan. Exhausted, you open the door and a voice calls to you. Come, sit, catch a breath. They will not follow you here. Your memories are fading even now, as we set the pieces in place, gone to form the soul of the game we play.
And so the circle is complete. The entire journey to my door has been unwoven, and we understand how we came to be. Now there is only one.
For reaching the caravan at Marigold Fields. The Feast of Callus the First. Reaching the caravan. Also got the Adventurer's Aid and the Shadow of the Empire.
It has been timeless, our journey together. But now we see the truth of it all laid bare. You must help me. And together, we will return this world to the way it should be.
And there you go. That is the challenge of Judgement. Looks like there's only one more challenge left to be done. Now comes the question if we should do it tonight or if we do it tomorrow. Because chances are that card up there in the center is still the final one. Which is actually really interesting, honestly, that the end... That basically we started our journey was not our journey with the dealer, but a retelling of our journey that brought us to the dealer itself. That is actually really interesting. I like that. That's a nice touch. So we were a hero regardless of before we even were a tool of vengeance of the dealer. Why would he erase our memories only to give it back to us, though? That'll be my question. Questions, though, we should probably save for another night. If anything, though, we'll tackle on the world tomorrow, and we'll see, depending how long this goes. Like I said, each time I know this challenge, like, these challenges are just taking a lot longer. Like, once you got through the first half, that's when they really start to increase in length. But man, that was a lot of combat, though. Thankfully, I actually am okay with the combat, and I like the combat. We barely made it out of there alive, though. But really interesting, though. That's a challenge that definitely rewards a lot of replay value, because you have to go through each of the characters' quest lines. So, as I said, this game will not be starved for replay value. Just expect, though, to invest a lot of time having to go through this. But that's going to do it for me tonight, though. Let me take a look and see who's actually streaming right now. We've actually quite a few people since we've ended a little bit earlier than normal, which thank goodness we have. So, there's actually a couple few things going on here tonight. Let me take a look here. There's actually the Mystery Science Theater 3000 Marathon is still continuing at Shout Factory TV. Looks like currently right now the Top Down Perspective is doing their podcast. That actually is one with Proton John, Exposure, and Sean Booker. And there was also Meds, who's also streaming as well. So I'm gonna give, as well, we also have Summoning Salt as that's streaming as well. Looks like he's also still practicing his speedrun of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I'm gonna give a host over to Meds, though, for the night. But we'll definitely tackle this tomorrow and see what happens in the world now that we know our tale. A tragic tale, honestly. I grew to like our companions. I actually do like the story that was told with us in this game so far. And it looks like we've come full circle. But I'll have to do for another night. Until then, Take care.